What's happening, y'all? What's going on? We live. We live early in the AM once again. I think like a week ago I was on here super early like this. Yeah, I think it was last week. I got on like 9, 8 in the morning. And I'm gonna start scheduling my lives as best as possible. But sometimes my live streaming can be unpredictable. It could be depending on, my son and his sleep schedule and if I'm going somewhere with the kids, so on and so forth. But I wanted to get on here and talk to y'all today about Ryan Coogler. I wanted to talk about Ryan Coogler and his new movie that's coming out April 18th called Sinners. The rave reviews it's getting, how great the movie looks, the cinematography in the movie looks outstanding. I've been anticipating this movie since I saw the preview about 6 months ago. I've been like super excited to watch it. You got Michael B. Jordan playing a dual role as a set of twins in the movie. Haley Steinfeld. You got Delroy Lindo in here, Omar Miller, the young lady, what is her name? One Me. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She was in Lovecraft Country. She was phenomenal in there. She's in the movie, right? So I'm excited, man. Ryan Coogler, yes. My boy say my views. I don't know if it's a I don't know why am I every time I click your comment. Yeah, there we go. My views say Ryan Coogler is a genius. Absolutely. He is. He is all the way, and I agree. Um, he deserves everything good coming his way. All the flowers coming his way, he deserves it. When I think about the movies that he's made, starting with Fruitvale Station, that was such a phenomenal film, y'all. The movie, for those who have not seen Fruitvale Station, it's about the life of Oscar Grant. Oscar Grant was a black man who had his life taken away from him by law enforcement, I believe, on New Year's Eve at the BART train station, right? Is the BART in Oakland, I believe, right? Uh, and Michael B. Jordan plays Oscar Grant. Ryan Coogler humanized Oscar Grant. Like he told the story. He didn't make the movie centered on what happened to him. He made the movie centered around the life of Oscar Grant, the family man he was, the friends he had, the relationship with his daughter, with his girlfriend and his daughter, so on and so forth. The movie is so emotional. I can't watch it no anymore. One, because of just the social, not the social commentary part of it, but how it pulls at the heartstrings due to the social commentary of the movie and just the life of Oscar Grant, but and what tragically happened to him, but also due to the fact that Michael B. Jordan, the way he portrayed Oscar Grant, the way he portrayed not the character, the way he portrayed Oscar Grant on TV, I mean on the in the film, reminded me of my late brother. My brother passed away. He had his life taken from him in 2004. So it's tough for me to watch that movie because when I'm watching Michael B. Jordan portray Oscar Grant, it reminds me of my older brother, right? But he started out with that. Then we got Creed. Creed, okay, it started off. Creed is the product. So Ryan Coogler and MBJ don't need Hollywood. Uh, Now that's the truth. That's the truth. They doing their own thing, man. They doing their own thing. Say y'all catch this on rewind for sure. You have a good day as well. When I saw Creed, now Creed is based upon a character created by Sylvester Stallone, Apollo Creed. But Ryan Coogler made that his own film. He wrote the script for that movie. Like Sylvester Stallone did not write the script for Creed. Ryan Coogler wrote that movie. And if Ryan Coogler does not make Adonis Creed a love child, if he doesn't make making Adonis Creed the product of infidelity really had him fighting for something in the movie, fighting for respect, fighting to feel like he earned the name Creed, feeling like he was more than he was enough, fighting to feel like he wasn't a mistake. Like that was the driving force behind that character. And Ryan Coogler's brilliance to make that a part of the story. He wasn't just Apollo Creed's son that he had with his wife. He was a son from an extramarital affair. You know what I mean? And he was taken in by Apollo Creed's wife, Marianne, and she raised him after Adonis's biological mother passed away. Like that was brilliant to do that. right? And so much so because Sylvester Stallone wasn't even thinking about doing no Creed movies anymore. Rocky Balboa was supposed to be the last, not Creed, Rocky movies. He wasn't thinking about doing a Rocky movie anymore. Rocky Balboa was supposed to be the last film, right? And then Ryan Coogler comes with an extension of the Rocky universe, with his started his own thing, but it's an extension of the Rocky universe. And he tried to pitch it to Sylvester Stallone earlier. Sylvester turned it down, but then Sylvester Stallone saw how Ryan Coogler knocked it out the park with Fruitvale Station and say, "Yo, I gotta be a part of it. I gotta hear this young brother out. I gotta see what he made of because he did an excellent job with that film." You know what I'm saying? So Ryan Coogler originally wrote Coming to America 2 before Creed. Did he really? Did he really? I had no idea. And StreamYard changing some stuff up because I didn't. Yeah, I had no idea he wrote that. I didn't know that. But yeah, man, like so Eddie turned it down. Oh wow, you telling me something new? No, I didn't know it for real. So when you think about, okay, he got Sylvester Stallone to come out and dust off his Rocky Balboa character and come back, and that was due to his great writing, right? So then we see him do Black Panther, break all type of records, monumental records with the movie. Phenomenal film, right? And he's so detailed with everything he does. I remember he talked about, it's the scene where they're in Busan, right? In the first Black Panther film. And Okoye, T'Challa, and Nakia, they have on colors representing the Pan-African flag, black, green, and red. And I never even paid attention to that. He had detail in every single thing, man. This brother is really, really, like, again, dope with everything he does, man. And then when he did Wakanda Forever, that is a hard movie to write after losing your star actor, your lead actor. He already had a script written for the movie because he didn't even know that Chadwick Boseman was sick. And then to turn around and have to scrap the whole script and rewrite the movie because your lead actor passes away unexpectedly from cancer, unexpectedly to everybody else, because nobody knew he was sick but his family, his wife, and his loved ones. And then having to write a whole new film, and the movie he made while writing a new script was dope. People try to give Ryan Coogler flack for that. Oh, he should have recast T'Challa. I'm telling y'all right now, if he would have recasted T'Challa as early like that, and as soon as Chadwick Boseman passed away, a lot of people would have been pissed off and upset. And so the way he wrote it, and by making it to him have a son in the end, and Shuri becoming Black Panther like she became in the comics for a while, and introducing Namor the Submariner and his origin story, all of that, that was well done. How emotional the movie felt, how again, how heart gut wrenching the movie was at times. That was dope. That's a hard film to make once your lead actor is gone, and he killed it, knocked it out the park, right? So now it leads us up to Sinners. Y'all, I remember watching this preview again 6 months ago, and I'm like, yo, I wish I could have fast forwarded time so I could see the movie. Right now, I wish it was April 18th so I can go watch the film. Like, I'm that intrigued with this movie. I'm that excited to see it. I'm going to watch anything Ryan Coogler makes because Ryan is a trusted individual with his art. He takes his art very serious. He's not a dude just throwing anything together and saying, here, buy it, y'all. Check it out. I'm going to put some star people in the movie. Y'all check it out. No, he's very intentional with every single thing he does, everything he put in these movies, the details he puts in films, right? This is a vampire flick, a horror flick. And I'm honestly, y'all, first, I'm not a big horror fan. I'm a scaredy cat. I don't just be running the horror movies. But this is something where I'm like, man, I'm gonna go run to the theater to watch this. Now I'm going on $5 Tuesday. I'm going on $5 Tuesday, but I'm going to go see the movie. All right, because it deserves that. The movie is taking place, I believe, in Mississippi, and Clarksdale, Mississippi, might I add, in the Mississippi Delta, where I went to college at. And then you have the blues music implemented into it because blues Y'all know there's a stronghold of Mississippi. So much so when I was in college, the little kids were singing the blues music. That little kids that would come to the football and basketball games, they were singing the blues. I'm talking about 6, 7 years old singing blues music. I'm talking about singing it like that was their favorite song in the world. So when he's weaving that into the film, yo, it looked dope. Then you got Michael B. Jordan playing a set of twins. That within this, I was like, yo, that is crazy. I don't think I've seen anything like that since The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. I remember I thought Lindsay Lohan really had a twin because I watched The Parent Trap and I'm thinking like, where's her twin sister? I thought she really had a twin for real, you know. So yeah, when you see that on screen and how they dressing real sleek, gangster type style, it looked fire. But when you find out it's vampires involved and staying true to, because I saw a clip from the movie, and in the movie is a part where Omar Miller has turned into a vampire, and he's asking the people, "Can y'all let me in?" And if you know anything about vampire lore, vampires cannot just come into a place willingly. You have to invite them in. Because I believe if they just come in on their own, they'll like burst into flames. So you have to invite them in. So he's trying to get invited into the juke joint that they got. And the character that One Me plays, she's like, yo, why you can't let your own self in? Why you asking for us to let you in? Why can't you big enough to come push through the door? And I'm like, that is really dope. That's a dope detail to keep going. You know, because that's a strong part of vampire lore that I don't think a lot of people even notice or realize. And I'm like, okay, he keeping that in there. And I think it's gonna be something more than just vampires in this movie. I really do believe. I think it's gonna be a whole different element to just. It's gonna be more than just vampires. And I can't wait to see that part. What else is gonna be tormenting these people? You know, Iron Man 32 say, um, Sinners looks great. Ryan Coogler is a great director. He absolutely is phenomenal director. For not phenomenal. And I think I got to give him more credit because again, this is an original movie he's making. This is not something that, intellectual property of somebody else where he can go base it upon something that like no, he don't have any blueprint to write it off of. This is something he originally wrote on his own. And I think it's going to be probably like a trilogy. Because from what I'm understanding, there are 2 post-credit scenes in the movie. So I'm expecting to have it probably at least maybe probably 2 more movies after this, which is great to have. We're going to get a trilogy of vampire films with black folks in it in rural Mississippi in the South. And what the night is, it looked like the movie looked like it's set in the 1950s or something like that. 1950s. If you guys like vampires during that time, and again, with how sleek Michael B. Jordan is dressing up in here, I'm all for it. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited. But vampire movies are my favorite horror, are my favorite horror movies to watch. Oh, for real? Did you see the Dracula movie that came out with my man that was on what's my man from that played Dr. Dre and NWA movie? He was the only black dude up in there. um the Dracula movie where Dracula is not in human form. He's in that other form where he looked like a demon just walking around. I don't know if you saw that movie. It's called The Voyage of the Last Dementor. That's what the name of the movie was. Did you check that one out? But yeah, I say that to say, yeah, The Voyage of the Last Dementor. The Voyage of the Last Dementor. The Last Voyage of the Dementor. The Last Voyage. The Last Voyage of the Dementor. That's the movie. That's the movie. The Last Voyage of the Dementor. You say you turned it off? It wasn't interesting. I really didn't watch it. But I from the preview of the movie, the trailers, it looked like it was gonna be pretty dope, but I didn't watch it. It wasn't enough vampires coming out for you. But yeah, man, I think what I like most about Ryan Man is his creativity, his willingness to take risk and to see something. Because again, making Creed was a risky thing to do. People love them Rocky movies so much. If he would have failed and fell flat on his face, you probably would have had a lot of people trying to say, "Oh, he don't deserve no another shot at no movies," because that was his big budget debut. Fruitvale Station was not a big budget. Creed was big budget debut in Hollywood for real. And if he fails at that, they could have followed him for a long time, And again, he took that risk, created a character, Adonis Creed, that was not in the original films at all, and made Apollo a cheater. He made him a person who engaged in infidelity, and made his son, made Adonis the product of his infidelity. And with Apollo Creed being such a loved character, that could have went wrong. A lot of people could have been like, man, hell no, man, he didn't made Apollo a dirty dog, yada yada yada. But people listened to heard the story out. Now again, it helps that Sylvester Stallone was on board to give the classic Rocky fans the nod of approval. But Ryan Coogler had to knock it out the park to even get Sylvester Stallone to agree to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, even making Wakanda, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever without Chadwick Boseman, that's a risk. He could have said, I'm backing away from it because we don't got Chadwick Boseman. He could have said, I'm too scared to recast and I don't want to do a movie without Chadwick Boseman, so I'm going to bow out of it gracefully. He still took on that challenge and still made a great movie, for real. Do I think Sylvester Stallone will return to the Creed franchise? As long as Erwin Winkler is a part of it, I highly doubt it, Noah. He got a problem with the dude Erwin Winkler. That's a part of the Rocky franchise. I don't know if he got the rights to the Rocky franchise or what. If he bought it back in the day or something, I don't know. But Sylvester Stallone does not get along with him. And as long as he is a part of it, Sylvester Stallone ain't coming back. Lost Boys and John Carpenter Vampires are my favorites. Got you. Did you like the Underworld movies? Did you like the Blade films at all? I liked Underworld and Blade and stuff like that, And again, me due to my youth, I'm connected to those movies, especially the Blade movies, because Wesley Snipes, dope. From Dusk to Dawn, George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, yeah, for sure. That was crazy. I remember watching that. I was scared as hell watching that. To watch them people turn into vampires, as a kid, I was scared. I watched that as a kid. Yeah, Blade 1 and 2, yeah, I'm with you. The Blade Trinity, not so much, but Blade 1 and 2 was fire. In fact, from what I remember hearing, Ryan Coogler this movie was originally supposed to be a script for a Blade movie. But then Ryan Coogler scrapped that and then created a movie of his own. But this movie was supposed to be started out as a Blade movie, from what I heard. But Ryan Coogler, I don't know if they didn't want him to be a part of the film or something. I don't know if he didn't get the opportunity to do so, I think, or they turned him down. They turned his pitch down, and then he turned it into his own thing, which I think is dope, though, to have his own thing. Because this movie Sinners look gangster. It looked gangster for real. It really do. And you see Michael B. Jordan busting with the chopper. It's going down up in there. It looks phenomenal. And then you see people getting turned. And at a point in the movie, Michael B. Jordan's twin in the film becomes a vampire. So I'm interested to see how that will play out. How Michael B. Jordan portrays a vampire while also portraying the other brother. I hear it's a young guy in this movie, man. I have to get his name. The young guy in the movie, he does a lot of the singing and the guitar playing. I heard he learned how to play the guitar for the film, right? But I heard he in there, he knocking it out the park. He killing it, I heard, in the movie. Like they say, yo, he got a bright future in film. I gotta find out what this young brother name is, man. Because I don't want to be butchering his young brother's name. I'm finna find it out. Because I think he did an interview recently. Let's see. Sinners reaction. Let's see, y'all. Let's see. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see. Sinners interview. Miles Catton, yes. That is his name, Noah. Thank you for that. And it came up, Miles Catton. Yes. I heard he got down in the movie. I heard his performance was outstanding from what I hear. So I'm excited to see him. You said, haven't watched the Dawn, that vampire movie? Yeah, From Dusk to Dawn is fire. Fire. I watched that as a kid. I was terrified. Because as a kid watching them, Danny Trejo, is it Trejo or Trejo? Then what Danny Trejo in that transform, he turned into a vampire? Is it Trejo or Trejo? Danny Trejo. He was in there. I remember he was on Con Air. He was the creeper man in Con Air. My man Fred the Hammer. Is it Fred Williamson? Fred the Hammer. Let me see. Fred the Hammer Williamson. Yeah, it was Williamson. Yep. He was in From Dusk to Dawn. I remember watching that movie and was just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. John Travolta turned down From Dusk to Dawn. Oh, he was supposed to be in George Clooney role. You know what? Yeah, George Clooney and John Travolta were interchangeable at that time. You can interchange them brothers. You know what I mean? But yeah, what I like about Ryan though, what I admire about him, he's a brother from Oakland, California, black man who refuses to code switch. He doesn't try to hide his Bay Area accent, his Oakland accent. He doesn't try to talk without it. He's professional while still having his accent that's true to him. And I love it all the way. You said Chris say good morning, Mills. The movie Freaky Tales came out yesterday. Music by Raphael Sadiq, Too Short, and the NBA player Sleepy Florida in the movie Freaky Tales. Freaky Tales. What is that? Freaky Tale. Oh, is this a Too Short? What is it? What movie is that? That's like a Hollywood movie. Oh, Pedro Pascal. Okay, I see it. I see it right now. Pedro Pascal. Who else in here? Ben Mendelsohn. Jay Ellis. Jay Ellis up in here? Is that Jay Ellis from would that be Jay Ellis from The Game? He was on The Game for a minute. Too Short produced the movie. He produced the movie with Pedro Pascal up in there. Shout out to my dog Short, man. Shout out to Too Short, man. Hold on, man. Shout out to the Bay, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Oakland specifically, Oakland. Because I'm talking about Ryan Coogler, an Oakland product. But yeah, what I like about Ryan, man, he doesn't try to hide his Oakland accent, man. He keep it true to himself while also being professional. And that's a lesson to a lot of other black folks. Not feeling like you have to code switch to still be respected in whatever field of endeavor you're embarking on. You know what I mean? Like I love to see him doing that. Even I love the story about him and his wife, man. His wife, he was a football player in college, and his wife knew that he was interested in writing films, and she got him this software for script writing. And I feel like, man, that was a hell of an investment by his woman, man. That's real, man. That black love and black unity, that's a real thing. And the reason why I champion black love is because, in today's society, we got a lot of this. There's an agenda. And with the gender wars that we see on social media, you would think that black men and black women hate each other. And that's not true. There are great examples of black love shown all throughout, not just within celebrities, but within the neighborhoods that we come from, the families that we come from, so on and so forth. So that's a great thing to see. I Am Black Mall say Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan have the potential to be the next Spike and Denzel. I agree. And I love the fact that all his movies star Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is in all of his movies. Like yo, if it ain't broke, I think he went on he might have said it on Good Morning America or the interview with Hot 97 with Ebro and them. He like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For sure. You and Michael got something special. Keep that going. Keep that going. Honestly, I wish Spike and Denzel did even more movies because every time they got together, it was gold all the way through and through. So I'm excited to see this, man. I'm really anticipating this movie, and I've heard great things from it. So I'm man. And again, Ryan Coogler, his pen, man, his pen is immaculate. It's like what my man say. Well, remember when Mace told Angie Martinez, Angie, when Big died, it was my pen. They kept Bad Boy afloat. Ryan Coogler, like, it's my pen that's keeping Hollywood original and afloat. It's my pen. He would never say that, but it is for real. Chris Chris say, Mills, do you think hood movies would ever come back or remake or be remade? I don't think they will be remade, but I think Ryan Coogler might be the one to make another hood movie that will be a classic. I think he will give us at least one or two at some point in his career. I don't know about soon, but it's gonna come. Especially him being from California. Now I know LA and the Bay are two different places from what I understand. From what I understand, in places like Oakland, I don't think there's no Crips and Bloods in Oakland, right? I know in Stockton, I think it is and stuff like that, but in Oakland it's not. In LA, you got Crips and Bloods and all of that, right? But regardless, Ryan Coogler is from California, and I think that with John Singleton's passing, I think he understands that he can't he has a void to fill in certain areas. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he got to be John Singleton at all, but I think he has a lane that he can occupy, a space he can occupy due to the fact that, you know, some of them stories, them street stories, are probably true to his upbringing, not the gang banging part per se, but the street element though. You know, Noah says maybe he can do a Monster Cody bio. Is it biopic? Biopic? How you pronounce that? I remember when I learned how to pronounce posthumously, because it looked like posthumously, but it's posthumously. Is it biopic? Biopic? Yeah, but I'm hoping that he can do something like that. That would be interesting to watch. That would be dope. It would be very interesting to watch, man. Listen, I'm watching anything Ryan Coogler makes. He's just that brilliant. I'm anything he a part of, he making. If he the director of the movie, if he's the director, I'm checking it out. Because I know he's not going to just throw something together. I know he takes pride in the work he creates, and you can see it from everything that he's made. Everything. You know? Nipsey biopic would be great. It would be very good. That would be dope. That would be dope, man. You right. That would be dope to see. He got a lot of ways he can go with it, you know, but Ryan, man, I love what he's out here doing. To make a black horror film, with Michael B. Jordan in it. Then got the legend Delroy Lindo up in there. You know, I was watching Malcolm X a couple weeks ago. I remember when Delroy was playing West Indian Archie, and then when he was on Crooklyn. You know, I've been a fan of Delroy Lindo for a minute, man, and I'm glad Delroy. He was in the Five Bloods not too long ago. He's back on the big screen once again. I think the great hood movies are done until a John Singleton comes along, someone from that. And Ryan, yeah, right. Ryan could be that, you know. Now he not from LA, but California dude, Oakland got a street culture regardless. So he can connect to it, and I think he can help bring some of them stories to light. Ralph Ellison, Invisible Man would be a great movie. Spike and Denzel got a new movie dropping this summer. Yeah, man, I heard about that. I remember seeing pictures of Denzel looking sharp, boy, looking youthful. Had that hairline intact. Man, I was like, what Denzel got? Denzel was looking youthful in them pictures I seen, man. So you right, I sure forgot about that. You know, Bill Duke is Bill Duke. You know you didn't effed up, right? Now you know you didn't effed up. When Bill Duke say that, now you know you just effed up. No, you fucked up, right? You know you didn't fuck. Shout out to the legend Bill Duke. Bill Duke was in the Predator and all of that. Man, shout out Bill Duke. Delroy Lindo should have won. Was it Grammys? You saying? Not Grammy, Oscars. Oscars, not a Grammy. Grammy is for music, for the Five Bloods, for sure. Highest and lowest. However, Issa Rae, Kenya Barris, Ava DuVernay, and them can't do it, and they try and fall all the time. Too many blacks from the Black elites community telling hood stories. Hey, you know what, man? You know what? I never thought about that, Black Mall. You know, you because yeah, man, you need some black folks who come from them environments to tell these stories, because then it becomes authentic. And from what I know, Kenya Barris is not from. I don't know where Kenya's from. I'm not sure. Who else did you name? Ava DuVernay. I don't know where Ava from. You know, Issa was from LA, but you saying she black elitism, they can't tell certain stories. I got you. Um, Full of Southern Charm say good morning, love. Have happy Saturday, Full of Southern Charm. Happy Saturday. Ava did great with when she did though. When They See Us was fire. Now it's when I say I shouldn't say it's fire because that's not a fire story. It's not, like it's sad, it's gut wrenching, it's heartfelt. But getting those men, the story of these men out to the world and hearing what happened to them, humanizing these men, she did a great job at that. No, it's not a hood story. It's a docu series about some real events for sure. Kenya Barris is from Inglewood. We grew up in the same neighborhood, bougie part of Inglewood, but we do have stories. Got you. Yeah. I've heard Kenya Barris get some uh flack for certain things that he's made or for his sport, because everybody feel like he's kind of enamored with biracial blackness, so on and so forth. That's what I've heard. I've never watched Blackish or Mixedish or Grownish. I've never watched any of these shows. Um, so I wouldn't know, but I've heard some flack. Some people say that you can take black people out of these stories and still it could be replaced with white folks at times. And so it doesn't feel authentically black at times. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard people say that. So I'm not sure. I would have to I would have to watch it on my own time. Black Mall, you might have said that it may be. You said Kenya explains blackness to white folks. You trying to get approval of whites. I gotta see the show, in all fairness, to really, I guess, to see if you're saying, if I agree with what you're saying. I gotta check it out. I've never watched it. Then the bank. Didn't Coogler get harassed at one time at the bank while shooting Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Absolutely. I remember that. Bank of America. Um he handed the teller a note regarding how much money he wanted to be withdrawn. He don't want to say it out loud. He gave her his ID and his bank card. His what you call it? His bank card. And gave him if I give you my account number and you got my account number, you got my ID, how am I coming to rob the bank? Come on now. But I remember that was crazy. That was crazy. I remember that was crazy. That whole situation. But I like what Ryan brings to the screen, man. I'm a big fan of that brother's work, and I'm a bigger fan of the person as well, man. Just seemed to be a real grounded brother. That is again a brother that does not shy away from his blackness, because a lot of people would have tried to lose their Bay Area Oakland accent a long time ago when they started getting interviewed and so on and so forth. And he refuses to try to let that accent go. He doesn't try to change it. He doesn't try to water down his accent. He doesn't try to act like he doesn't try to get it out of him, you know? And that's what I like. Don't hide your accent. That's who you are. But he's able to be professional while still having that Oakland Bay Area accent all the way through and through. And for a young black man like myself, that's a message that I started delivering about 5 years ago, telling black people you don't have to necessarily code switch in order to be um, to be professional. You can be professional without, while still being authentic to yourself, right? I'm not saying go in an establishment and be ignorant as hell and be extra, extra hood. You can still be authentically yourself without, and still be professional. You don't have to get into certain spaces where predominantly white. You have to get into predominantly white spaces and be like, gee willikers, oh man, gosh be gosh, gee willikers. If that's not how you talk, you don't got to do all of that. You can still talk your and how you regularly talk while being professional. And Ryan Coogler is an example of that. Shows like Atlanta work because unapologetically black. Y'all know I never seen Atlanta for real. They didn't try to get a white audience. Atlanta was for us, and whites came for the ride. Kenya makes black shows for white people. Black Maul, explain when you say that, if you can, I don't know if you can break that down. Like, give me an example of Kenya making a show for white people specifically. Like what, like and I think you may have, you or somebody else may have explained a point like this previously. But if you don't mind, give me an example of what you're saying, so I could, like, have something to understand where you're coming from when you say it. But yeah, man, Iron Man, Ryan, a real dude. And again, when I see these previews for Center, all I can do is get excited because it just looks so good, man. It looks so well done. You get a train outside the crib, but it made me want to go and dress like, how what you call it was right. I mean, how he was dressing. Michael B. Jordan's characters were dressing in the movie. It made me want to go throw on them clothes, man. That he dressing like them Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi dress. Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity be having them hats on and them bow ties on and all of that. It made me want to go throw something on, put that joint on, man, for real. Kenya also wrote Coming to America too. We got he wrote that. Kenya Barris wrote that Coming to America too. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't like that Coming to America too like that, man. And I don't know if it was Jermaine Fowler's performance per se. I don't know if I think Eddie and Arsenio Hall lost their comedic edge a little bit because as you get older and you become more enlightened, as you become more what's the word I'm looking for? You have more life experiences. You don't want to, you tone down a lot of that other stuff you had in your youth. You tone down a lot of the craziness that you had in your youth. And you become more toned down when you get older, for real, for the most part. Especially like when you've been operating in a certain industry for a long time. I don't think everybody comedy don't get better as they get older. It's only certain people that could do that. Seriously. That's like when people want Chris Tucker to be back in Friday. Chris Tucker wouldn't be the same Smokey. That would not be the same person. He's a born again Christian, all of that. Like, I'm not saying you can't be a Christian and be funny. I'm not saying that because you can't, 100%, right? But y'all know what I mean. I think you lose your comedic edge as you get older. And that movie just was, it felt like just a big movie full of cameos, a big budget movie with a lot of cameos versus like actually just being super duper funny. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't terrible at all. It just wasn't memorable. That's the problem. Coming to America 2 was not memorable. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't memorable. And for a classic movie like Coming to America, you're going to make a sequel, it has to be memorable for it to work. And it's just not. And again, I don't know if it was Jermaine Fowler's performance, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall being much more toned down, or if it was just like too many people, it was too cameo centered. I don't know. Better miniseries original, Roots or The Temptations? Hello, Noah said you being nice. Coming to America was garbage. Coming to America 2 was garbage. Hey yo, man. I ain't gonna say it was horrible. It just it was not memorable. But I hear you though. I can understand why you felt like it was terrible. It just was not, I don't remember nothing from the movie. I just like no lines. I don't remember any funny lines other than when the barbers was talking about Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. And honestly, them barbers still being alive in the second movie, they had to been 132 years old. Like Eddie Murphy say Joe Louis was when it, Joe Louis is 132 years old. I asked Joe Louis, between me and you, he 137. Between me and you. When Joe Louis fought Rocky Marciano, he 137 years old. The barbers had to be 140, man. Hold on. Original, that's original miniseries. For Roots or The Temptations. I like both of them joints, man. Godly. I can't pick one. Coming to America 1 or Friday. That's tough. That's tough. I'm gonna pick Coming to America. Right? Man, it's hard, it's close. I'm gonna pick Coming to America. For real. Kenya has an episode of Blackish where Anthony Anderson's character, explains to the audience why we as black folks don't quit and show up to work when stuff isn't fair for us. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. If your show is truly for black folks, there's no need to explain that. We know that ish already. Ah! Hey, so let me ask you this, Black Mom. Is there any time? So for movies like Drumline and Stomp the Yard, a lot of white folks wouldn't know what the hell is going on in the movies. They're not familiar with Black Greek letter organizations or HBCU culture, so on and so forth. But I mean, it was self-explanatory still, though. It was. So I get what you're saying. It was still self-explanatory, even though it didn't necessarily break down, hey, we have these fraternities, and in these fraternities, we do this and that. And hey, at HBCUs, the band culture is, well, it still showed the significance of band culture without beating you over the head with it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody explained, the band is more important than the game at times. But that's really the truth about HBCU culture for real. So I get what you're saying. I think Issa Rae has lost her touch as well. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't like only thing I've seen from Issa Rae, and I've seen it sparingly, was Insecure. And that's because my son's mom would watch that show quite often. Especially after our son was first born. She was watching it a lot. And so I would sparingly watch it with her, you know. But I didn't watch it consistently like that. I've never really watched Issa Rae's content like that. What else did she have that she made? Snow Bunnies know about to say the last day. Hey, yo, no, I ain't gonna lie. I used to love that movie, but that dance routine getting her into Juilliard is ridiculous, y'all. Doing that shit on the chair to get into Juilliard, y'all. Hey, y'all, we got to talk about that point, though. Like, I love I love that movie for the, nostalgia purposes and all of that. But her doing that damn dance that's what gets you in Juilliard, doing all that on the chair and shit off, man. Come on. Hey, no. That ain't supposed to get you up in there. Come on. We all have been up in there if that was the case. Me, you, your mama, and your cousin too would have all been in Juilliard if that gets you up in there. And then Fredro Starr was playing a typical angry dude. He always mad as hell in every movie, scratching up his face. Every movie, he's super ultra tough. Honey was the movie. Romeo stayed Harlem shaking and shit. Romeo was in that mother. Romeo stayed Harlem shaking, and my man's Mekhi Phifer was still in his heartthrob bag. Mekhi Phifer was still in his heartthrob bag where he was still on screen pulling a fine shorty in the movies. Oh, he was still on screen pulling a fine shorty in the movie. You know what I mean? She said, "Oh my, oh man, yeah, Fredro. But look, Fredro got mad off something that he said." Charlamagne asked him. They said, Fredro, what you been up to all these last few years? What you been up to? And Charlamagne said, getting head from Brandy. Because Fredro Starr, in an interview, somebody asked him, did you hit Brandy? He said, nah, I didn't. He said the head was good though. And Charlamagne brought it up in an interview. He said it, and he got mad that Charlamagne brought it up. You shouldn't have said it in the interview if you don't want nobody talking about it. Why you bring up the fact that you got, you know what, from Brandy? You got top from Brandy, allegedly, you know? But no, he said Omar Epps, Lorenz Tato, Mekhi Phifer. Get rid of 2. Woo! I'm gonna have to get Mekhi up out of there. He gotta go. Out of these 2, Lorenz and Omar, Mekhi gotta go. Okay. Now the battle is Lorenz or Omar Epps. Now Omar done been in some classic movies to me. He done been in Love and Basketball. He done been in The Wood. He done been in Higher Learning. He done been in Too Deep. Omar, name me some more Omar Epps movies that I really like. I'm tripping, y'all. I'm drawing a blank. Right, Juice. How I forget Juice? Now Mekhi was in Soul Food, The Program, but then y'all, Lorenz was in Menace. Is one of my favorite movies all time. He was in Menace. He was in Scream. He got up out of there early in Scream too, though. Lorenz was in Menace. He was in The Inkwell. He was in Dead Press. He was in Why Do Fools Fall in Love. He was in man, I'm missing some movies Lorenz was in. Godly. Hold on now. I'm missing some movies Lorenz was in. And he played Councilman Tate in Power. Y'all know I love him on that. I said Love and Basketball for Omar Epps. Yeah. I said In Too Deep for Omar Epps. I remember when Kanye was like, I was in too deep like Mekhi Phifer. And I'm like, Kanye, that wasn't Mekhi Phifer in Too Deep. That was Omar Epps, wrong black dude, brother. That's how I know Kanye didn't been detached from the black community for too long. He think we all look alike and shit now. He think we all the same person. You gotta stop. Mekhi Phifer and Omar Epps don't look nothing alike. All right. But anyway, does Don't Be a Menace count? Hold on. Lorenz wasn't it? That was Lorenz's brother in Don't Be a Menace, though. That's what happens when you're not writing your rhymes. Like, man, that was not him in Too Deep. All right, y'all gonna make me pick. Man, I'm gonna go with Omar Epps. I'm gonna go with Omar Epps, man. Damn. I'm gonna go with. It's hard though. It's close because Lorenz my guy though. Like Lorenz really gave us 3 different type of characters. The Inkwell. Now you know what, man. I don't know. You right. I'm gonna go with Lorenz. You right now. I've changed my mind. I'm gonna go with Lorenz. Cause Lorenz, the way Lorenz play Councilman Tate, man, I love him as Councilman Tate. And then in Dead Prez, what? Fire. I love when he got the whooping on Terrence Howard with that pool stick. Terrence Howard trying to talk that talk because Cuddy was doing the do to his old lady while he was in the war. And then him playing Frankie Lyman, and then being in Menace, to then play Love. Oh my God, hold on. Now Love Jones, right? He was Darius Love Hall, Love Jones, right? Then you got you got him as Old Dog in Menace, Frankie Lyman. You know, you got him in the Inkwell. Those are different characters, man. The range that he has, man. The range he has is crazy. Well, Omar Epps was in Scream too. He got knocked off early in the movie, though. He was in Scream too. Lorenz turned down The Best Man. Yeah. Hey man, yeah, his range is incredible. His range as an actor is, and Lorenz can play so many different roles, man. Cause him on the Inkwell is completely different than O-Dog. And I felt like that movie was paid like a year. He did that movie probably like a year or two apart from each other or something, didn't he? Cause that was like he had to do something different. Cause people were just gonna steady put him in that O-Dog box. But he showed his range in that, you know. You said nah, Omar playing at House is great. Now I didn't watch House. My mama watched that show though. I didn't watch House. But I heard he was dope though. Some reason I never considered Scream a true horror. It's more of a comedy. Uh oh, you saying Lorenz was supposed to be Tate Diggs? Okay. He even did a good job as the young Quincy Jones. Yeah, man. For sure, man. You right. Yeah, that brother's range is phenomenal. I like an actor that can play different roles. He's not typecast, it's the same thing. Because y'all know The Rock was my favorite wrestler growing up. The Rock is the same person in every single movie he played. He is The Rock in everything he playing in. He gonna always be The Rock. Morris Chestnut or Terrence Howard? Skinny, man. Tell me this fell out your pocket, man. Tell me this fell out your pocket, man. Hey, Skinny, man. Tell me this fell out your pocket, man. I don't know why I'm laughing at every time. Skinny, man. Tell me this fell out your pocket, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. But yeah, John Cena and Batista are much better actors than The Rock for sure. The Rock is just he got that Hollywood appeal to him, and I think it's based upon his character, the wrestling character that he was. It helped to catapult him in these action movies. But he really got to play the same. The Rock's best acting movies, his best acting jobs are in his early movies when Hollywood was forcing him to be slim. He slimmed down. He was in like The Rundown, Walking Tall. Them was the Rock's best performances. You know, um, as an actor, like them early movies. Then you said Terrence Howard or Morris Chestnut though. Man, whew, golly. G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation with Fire. I never seen that. I've never seen it. You said Denzel Washington. Now he had a movie I think called Snitch. I think was straight. Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, or Will Smith. Get rid of two. I'm gonna have to get rid of Eddie and Will. Denzel, man. Denzel. Especially, young Denzel. Younger Denzel. Training Day. Out of Time. Inside Man. Man on Fire. American Gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like Malcolm X. Them movies, man. Yeah. You say you taking Eddie? I love Eddie. Eddie didn't have some bullshit movies sometimes though. Not a lot. But that Meet Dave, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Trading Places though was amazing. Trading Places, Golden Child, yes. Trading Places in the Golden Child, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yes. I'm with you, Clive. I'm with you on Trading Day. Trading Day. Trading Places, Golden Child, yes. That Meet Dave though, I ain't. Hey, man. Hey, man. That ain't that Norbit was hilarious though. Norbit was hilarious. So what about Ving Rhames? Ving Rhames a talented actor for sure. To play Holiday Heart, to then playing Melvin, then playing Melvin, then being what you call it in Pulp Fiction. You know what I'm saying? Then being in the Animal, then being in Undisputed. Yeah. Wesley Snipes or Samuel Jackson, better actor. That is hard because Wesley Snipes was the dude in the 90s, early 2000s. Wesley Snipes was the guy. Yeah, Denzel was in Gladiator 2. Sound like he was still like the same person. Still sounded like he was. Denzel made the movie better though. Like real talk, truthfully. But he did not have no because Denzel can't do accents. I think in that Mighty Quinn movie he tried to do an accent. It wasn't working. So they don't even try to make Denzel do an accent. He's not good at accents, and every actor is not going to be able to nail that. So I get him on that. Yeah, he went from Holiday Hard to Melvin, two completely different roles. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he was Holiday Hard, he was in there crying at his boyfriend's funeral, and they didn't know his boyfriend Fisher was gay. He was in there, my baby love, my baby love. Oh, I need you. Hey, he was in there, my baby love. Oh, I need you. Oh, Fisher. Oh, Holiday Hard was in there. Holiday was in there bawling his eyes out about Fisher. Fisher was everything to him, boy. Nah, y'all, y'all remember at the beginning of Holiday Hard, he was up in there crying at Fisher's funeral. None of them knew Fisher was gay. They're like, why he's up in there? He was up in there, my baby love. Oh, hey, oh man. Hold on, so what did he say? My bad. I be playing on here. You're Don Cheadle fighter though. You say you don't like. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Black Ma. Holiday Heart was just a part of the black. That was a black cinema. So we watch. Holiday Heart was always on TV. But yeah, it's a rough watch, especially when you realize Wanda was so strung out. She was about to sell Nikki to a PDF file, man. That is disgusting, man. That scene there, she was so strung out and burned up. Oh my God, boy. Man, for real. I don't know, Will Smith. What you say? Zero, what's the word, man? Hold on, what you calling Cap on, Noah? What you calling Cap on? Pootie Tang is really good. Pootie Tang. Nah, Don Cheadle went in that the Hotel Rwanda, man. Let me tell y'all something. I remember when I saw that movie, man. Crazy. Said Precious was the color purple too. Hey man, but like Sealy at least had a happy ending, man. I don't really feel like Precious had no happy ending for real, man. I really don't, man. And then it turned out that the dude that was doing it to her was not her biological father. You know what I mean? So her children was not her sisters and brother like she thought. Oh, he said not knowing Will Smith didn't rap his cat. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, but man, that dang on Precious though. Oh my God. Woo! That is a tough watch, man. How her mama Monique was treating her in that movie. Golly. Yeah, that was boy. Let me tell y'all something. That was woo. That was terrible. Then when you realize her mother and her father were both abusing her, like, yeah, man, that's horrible. I for sure knew that was an agenda against us to watch it. Precious, Precious. See the way she ate that chick, man. Oh my God. ATL is a true classic. Yeah, nah, I'm with you though. I love that movie. I know that ain't who I think it is. Big Little Brother. Big Little Brother. I know that ain't who I think it is. When T.I. say, man, be clear. Did my daddy house. I've been running things. I was 15. You just been getting over. Man, hey man, be clear. This is my daddy house. I've been running things since I was 15. You just been getting over. Uncle George now. Uncle George in that tripping. No, little big brother, yeah. Little big, that's what he said. Little big brother. Little big brother. That's what he told him. Goddamn, Carl Lewis, where you go? Goddamn, Carl Lewis, where you go? Where you going? Yeah, I remember he asked for something to drink and he beating his cuz. I'm a little parched. What big boy is a character. I'm a little parched. You got a Picasso in your house. Just want to be good. You just want to be ghetto. Want to be ghetto so bad. You can take the what he told you, you can take the something. I'll take the Picasso. D. John Garnett? You don't understand what I'm talking. You don't understand what I'm talking about. You don't understand what I'm talking about. D. John Garnett? Ah! You better not tell my mom. Oh my God. Hey, that's skating hard though, man. I can't skate. I wish I could skate. I wish I could go out there and roll. My daughter know how to get down on them skates. I don't know how to do it. I'm too scared to fall. I can't be outside falling. And when you grown, that's something you gotta do when you young. When you growing out there falling around on the floor, I can't get back up like that. I can't get back up so swiftly as you could as a kid. I'm too old to be. I'm only 32. Well, I can't to be falling anywhere like that now. You know, hey, you crazy. Clive is a nut, man. He crazy. I met Big Boy before. He cool. I can imagine, man. You know, Outkast, my favorite group all time, man. I want to meet both of them brothers, man. For real. Sir Lucius left foot. That part is so hilarious. So many of our suburban blacks who be faking hood need to see that scene. You got a Picasso in your house. What are you talking? What the part Big Boy was asking us, so the girl, I said, where'd she go at? My little sister always say that line, where'd she go at? I was like, where'd she go at? Where'd she go at? And Big Boy was in there clowning in the movie. Little Big Brother. T.I. say, you ain't got to be a dope boy to have money. My mama always imitate that little poem at the end of the movie. You ain't gonna let love lie? Let love fly? No. I'm gonna what do you say? You gonna let love lie? No. I'm gonna let love fly. I'm gonna let. Ah. I say crazy people come from everywhere. Do not let suburban kids. No, that's the truth. It's some listen. I know some wild suburban kids too, though. For real, definitely. But the point is, they don't have to be like that, though. You know, I guess that's the point he making. They don't have to be wild and ignorant. You know, especially when you're growing up in a better environment. Ja Morant is about that. I don't know, Clive. I don't think that's authentically Ja. I think he's just influenced by a certain culture. Uh, you know, but I do believe that his past dealings is now why he's getting made an example out of with them gun gestures. If he didn't have that in his past, I think he probably got a little warning because of what he was wilding out doing previously. They like, yo, cool out. Point is, they're clearly making a choice. Right, that's the point. They're making a choice to be in that type of event. They're not of that environment. You know what I'm saying? Where it's around them. That's all that's around them. They, it's in their everyday life going to school. They seeing it in their neighborhoods. The suburban kids aren't, for the most part, they're not surrounded by that life to where there is pressure to be that, you know, where they don't have a choice. Yeah, they choosing to do that. And that's the difference. And that's what I was saying about Ja previously, you know what I'm saying? But Ja Morant is from Sumter, South Carolina, one of the cities in South Carolina, not making excuses. I hear you, Stephen B, for sure. But, I would have criticized anybody doing that, regardless where they from, for sure. But he getting fined, he getting faced with them investigations for the finger guns and all that type of stuff, the gun time, because of his past. You know what I'm saying? You say your last comment. Let me see. I met Killer Mike and Big Boy at the studio. Never met Andre. He was in his own world, even in for real. You met Killer Mike and Big Boy at the studio? What you was doing in the studio with them, big dog? What you was doing, man? You can't you connected like that? You said you was watching the Black Panther documentary the other day. Bobby Seale still alive. Bobby Seale still alive. Why do you think our people don't revere him the way they do drug dealers like Big Meech and Larry Hoover? Well, I think the reason why, um, uh, 50 said it one time, man. America got a thing for this gangster shit. The Seals, and the Seals, the Panthers were gang. They was gangster. They just wasn't about drug dealing and ruining the communities and all of that. But they were standing on the front lines for black people. I think the gangster street stuff became so popular that it got pushed to the forefront of everything above black upliftment, above black radicalism, above the advancement of black folks. Street culture became the end all be all of everything. You know what I'm saying? And I think that made people want to be like, that was what made Big Meech and Larry Hoover so celebrated, because street culture became a main cog of Black America at some point, because it became trendy and fashionable to be that. Black empowerment took a back seat to street culture, unfortunately. You went to school for audio engineering, and your homie mom was there. That's dope. That's fire. That is fire. Y'all know I never seen Idlewild before. I never seen that. ATL or Drumline. I'm gonna have to go Drumline 100%. I always tell y'all, man, Drumline and Stomp the Yard are responsible for sending my generation to college. We watched, like, School Days and A Different World was for the generation prior to me. But like Drumline and Stomp the Yard, they are responsible for making us connected to college, particularly HBCUs. Drumline, it's a comfort movie for me. As I had my first roommate in college was in the band. And that's when I saw that Drumline. That Drumline stuff is real. His life was the band. He was always with his bandmates. You feel me? He would pledge it into his band section. He was KK Psi. KK Psi was the fraternity, made an appearance as a fraternity. That's the band fraternity on Drumline, right? My roommate was from Detroit, Michigan. We both were city kids. He came from Detroit on a band scholarship to Mississippi. Devin Miles was from New York and got placed in Atlanta, in the South. So seeing all of that play out in real life, like that Drumline, like, storyline with my roommate, him being outside practicing at night, mosquitoes tearing him up. He out there getting down with it. He loved music. And we were roommates, and we would share music with each other. He would put me on these Detroit songs. It was a song called, I think, is it Stretch Money? It takes money to make money. I can't let it get away from me. That joint was hard. He was in there playing that joint. What? Let me see, man. If you love me, then pray for me. That joint was hard. It takes money to make money. I can't let it get away from me. He would be in there playing it in the morning. And then I was listening to like Lil Durk and Keith them and King Louis and them, and he was playing that, so yeah. But anyway, he said ATL and Drumline both based on the producer. Yep, Dallas Austin. So yeah, man. Shout out to Dallas Austin, man. Yeah, and that's fire. That's fire, man. I love ATL too, for sure. But if you got me picking between ATL and Drumline, I'm gonna go Drumline all the way. Again, because that's just a staple of my childhood. I love Drumline. Love that movie. What else y'all was saying in here? Panthers were about black empowerment, and they was just as tough as these so-called gangsters. I agree. Let me put that on the screen. He say the Panthers were about black empowerment and they were just as tough as these so-called gangsters. 100,000%. A lot of people don't know, man. Fred Hampton was like 21 years old when he had his life taken, I believe. 21, 22 years old. He was a young man, very young, and was that militant and that well-spoken, that righteous for black people. Man, that's super real, man. Drumline was BS because the other school wanted it here. Yeah, I agree with the rulers back 100%. You say I like Boys in the Hood better. At least had what was it? Boys in the Hood between what? Yes. So Imperial Stats. I don't know if you remember I made this video where I said I like Menace a lot, but Menace was just a story of the downfall of Kane and how Kane and hanging around those certain characters would bring the worst, bring the worst to you. Sharif had his life taken and he ain't had nothing to do with nothing at the time, but because he kept hanging around Kane and O-Dog, his life got taken. It was a story of a dude watching his life crumble because he didn't care about living. He just was too ingrained in street culture. And then he also was a victim of peer pressure, right? Boys in the Hood had a better message 100%. And I broke down, even like Dope Boy was the most interesting character in the movie. Being real with y'all, he was more interesting than Trey. He was more interested in, and he, again, the only character that was of the good guys per se, the only one that took somebody's life, and we only saw that happen in retaliation for his brother, right? For Ricky. But you know, showing the aspect of, I mean, Ricky and Trey were just kids just trying to go to school. Ricky trying to get a football scholarship. Trey just a smart dude. He got his father and is like raised by his father, teaching him the right way to be upright as a man. Even a scene where not Morris, Lawrence Fishburne is teaching him about gentrification. And what's my man Whitman Mayo comes into the screen. They played Grady from Sanford and Son. And he comes in, he talks, who you think destroying the community? It's all of these dudes. And Lawrence Fishburne say, hey, yo, you basically agree, yo, you right. Y'all got to stop pushing that stuff and taking each other out, killing each other. But also, who do you think is bringing these guns and these drugs to the neighborhood? Those messages, you see the police interaction that Trey has with Ricky, right? You see at the end of the story on Boys in the Hood, Trey goes to Morehouse, Brandy goes to Spelman. It was a very great, it was a positive message overall in the movie. He said, F that racist movie, Boys in the Hood. The dark-skinned boy played football only when he could make it. Oh, man. He said Lawrence Fishburne had the message. He did. Lawrence Fishburne had the message for the young boys in the movie, 100%. Said, Mills, how's the new job going? It's going good, man. It's going well, man. I've been a little tired a little bit. So, just trying to get my rest when I can. But at the same time, still making the content, man. But it's been going good, man. I can't complain. I'm just blessed to be back employed, for sure. It's been going good. Doughboy got treated the worst. He did. You saw the aspect of a mother loving a son more than the other son based upon who his father is, based upon her relationship with the father. Her relationship with the father of the children determines how she treats the child. You saw that play out in that movie. You know what I mean? You saw, even though Doughboy just got into it with his brother Trey, he still was protective of his brother at all times, even though they just had got into it with each other. He could sense when something wasn't right with his brother. Ready to ride out for his brother. Even him letting Trey out the car at the end of the movie. Right? He ain't called Trey no sucker, no buster, no goofy, none of that. Yo, let me out. Let me out, Doe. Let me out. Let me out. Doe pulled over, let him out the car. Then told him, I understand why you wasn't in that car. Well, you got out the car. You wasn't supposed to be there no way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. That movie, man, is really, really John Singleton snapped with that movie. All the way, he snapped 100%. You know? So yeah, Menace was the more gangster tale and more raw and gritty and uncut. But Boys in the Hood told a great story. And it told a story that needed to be told, you know, with positive messages in it. Even though we had the aspect of the craziness too. If they see better for you, they block. But usually hood dudes leave the smart guys alone, even stand in front of each other. Oh, it depends on where you at. It depends on where you at, man. Sometimes the smart dudes still get picked on and picked with. It depends on where you at. It depends on how cool you are. If they grow up knowing you your whole life, you know what I mean? It depends on if you've been in that neighborhood your whole life, or did you move? Are you a transplant to the neighborhood? It depends on certain circumstances. You know what I'm saying? So a dude like me, I moved in a lot of hoods as a kid. So it was kind of like I had to show I wasn't you wasn't gonna hold me before anything. You know, and then but then also too, the hood dudes like me because I stayed in my lane too. So I was a smart kid. I knew I wasn't no street kid. I wasn't trying to be them. Then you know they know you can get some pretty girls. You can get some pretty girls. You interested in sports still, you can still find common ground with them. I was still able to find common ground with hood dudes based upon girls in sports. So, you know, did I ever live in the suburbs? Bro, when I turned 23 years old, when I got out of grad school, and I was 24, my bad, 24. I got out of grad school, I lived in Markham with my mom, because my mom moved to Markham while I was in grad school. When I was 23, 23. I lived in Markham for about like 3 years, 2.5 years. Then I moved back to the city. But I only was in the suburb for about 3 years. And that was when I was a grown adult. That's when I was 23, 24. I was 24 at the time. But before then, it was always in the city. In the city. You know what I'm saying? I didn't move to the south suburbs until I was like 20, 23, 24. And then after that, I moved back to the city when I moved on my own. You know what I'm saying? But growing up, it was always in the city. From my birth through my teenage years, through the beginning of my 20s, it was always in the city of Chicago. Was there ever any update on terrible Rackins, any incident? Not that I haven't looked into it, Zero. I got to see what's going on and what's shaking with it. But yeah, I'm not sure. So I'm born in the hood, but I do not remember. Always suburbs. Yeah, got you. You say you like the birds better? Man, Markham was cool, but it was still like I don't know, south suburbs of Chicago still be like an extension of the city sometimes. So like Markham was cool, but then I started seeing it was a lot of hood dudes in the area. And I'm like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I still in the city? It started looking like an extension of the city to a point. And I'm like, oh, what's going on now? This ain't, you feel me? But yeah, man, for sure. But I haven't seen any update on the Terrible Rackins case. Thicker Than Water, Fat Joe and Mac 10. I remember that movie. I watched that on YouTube, bro. I watched that on YouTube. He said, man, that's crazy. Buzz, I get lost in the listen. Richmond Park ain't nothing but suburban Chicago. Yeah, for sure. Even the tough guys at my school left me alone. Oh, that's real, man. That's real. That's real, man. It ain't always the case for everybody, though, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? So I've been 5'6", 120 pounds forever. For real? He said deep cover was crazy. Absolutely. I lived in both. Time living in the burbs made me realize the black bourgeoisie was a huge problem. Nobody hates poor blacks more than them. You know, that's an interesting um uh interesting aspect to talk about. You know, Black Mall, because I was in the city all my life, even with certain accomplishments, it taught me better than to look down on my people because I was the poor black. You know, I grew up a poor black. You feel me? So like, even with me getting degrees and stuff like that, and me, you know, I became a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. I got a scholarship to school. I was in these different programs growing up. You know what I'm saying? It taught me better than that. You know, right? That's where you get the black bourgeoisie and their connection to what do you call that? Um, what's the word I use for it? Damn, respectability politics, right? That's the word I use for it. You know, respectability politics. If you all, you know, if we all just went to school and we all just, you know, we all kept our pants above our waist, not even just go to school, because I'm all for black people getting educated. I'm all for black people getting educated, but also at the same time, I know traditional college is not for everybody. You can still go to trade school and so on and so forth. But yes, I do fight against this belief that if we all just wore suits, if we all wore shirt and ties all day, every day, then white people would have much more respect for us. And no, they would not. They would not. And so, me, man, I'm telling you, I have a different relationship. Bro, I think growing up where I grew up and then working in corporate America, it flipped the switch in me to recognize certain things. And as you get older, you become more enlightened. That's why I told you I don't let people play the good black man. Play me as the good black man. You're not going to use me to down talk other black folks where I come from. People will do that. See, Malcolm, you went to school. See, you got a master's degree. See, you, yeah, I did all of that, but I had positive reinforcement all around me. Even though I was in the hood, I had my mama and my father that was pushing me, that was doing everything it took for me to be in certain programs, for me to, you know what I'm saying, to not go to school in the neighborhoods that I went to. So when I get older, I'm not bragging on, hey, you know, my kid doesn't go to the school in the poor ghetto like your kids. No, because what happens to kids who don't have parents who have the wherewithal to send their children to schools outside of the district, who don't know how to do that? You know what I mean? So what happens to kids that are in that? You know, you got to stop dissing the GOAT Kobe. I ain't dissing him, man. He did do that, bro. He did force a relationship with Michael Jordan. He kept calling Mike. Michael Jordan said that out of his own mouth. He kept calling Michael Jordan phone. I'm not making that up, bro. He kept calling Michael Jordan phone. And then Mike was like, and Mike said he was like an annoying little brother. He said he was pestering him. And then eventually Mike gave in. He said it at Kobe Memorial Service. For real. Kobe modeled his exact beat. He started talking like Mike, chewing gum like Mike, all of that. Saying the game of basketball, he started using Michael Jordan exact cadence when he was talking. You feel me? But I'll be trying to make this point because a lot of Kobe Bryant fanatics act like Mike and Kobe's relationship or their bond occurred naturally. It did not. Mike didn't reach out to Kobe because Kobe, you like the long lost son I never had. That didn't happen. What happened was Kobe kept blowing up his phone and kept trying to contact him. And then Michael Jordan eventually gave in. Because people make it seem like Mike just connected to Kobe. And that's why he talked to Kobe and not LeBron. No, Kobe kept trying to extend himself to Mike. LeBron won't do that. And so that's why they're not connected, because LeBron will not extend himself to him. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked how tall I am. I'm 5'9.5". And I always say 5'9.5" because every time I go to the doctor for my annual, The doctor always tell me 5'9.5". And if I got on Tim's, I'm 5'10" and some change. But in regular shoes, 5'9.5". No taller than that. What's wrong with connecting to Jordan? I'm not saying nothing is wrong with it, but I'm trying to tell you, well, I'm not extending myself to no man. I'm not doing that, Rap God. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not. I'm not extending myself to LeBron James. I'm not finna be doing that. But what the point I'm making, my point I'm saying is that people try to act like Mike naturally gravitated to Kobe. That did not happen. He didn't naturally gravitate to him at all. He did not. You know what I'm saying? You know, it didn't happen. That did not happen. And I think because people use that as a way, as a knack to LeBron James by saying, oh, well, he was close to Kobe. He loved Kobe. Why he ain't love you like that? Him and Kobe was close. And I'd be like, no, Kobe forced that to happen. For real. Now, I am Black Maul. When I bring up that point, they get mad at me when I say Kobe told on Shaq. Because this is the point, right? You can say you don't like LeBron James' game, all of that. But when people be like, LeBron is not a masculine, he's not an alpha male, he's not masculine. And I'll be like, hold on. It be Kobe Bryant fanatics saying that. I'll be like, gee, I watched Kobe tell on Shaq. And he didn't even have a reason to bring Shaq up, but he got in trouble. And first thing he do is, I should have paid the girls like Shaq be doing. What? I know you ain't telling. I know you ain't putting my name in this. Time out. I know you ain't putting my name in nothing you got going on. You feel me? But there's a point to keep trying to say LeBron is not an alpha male by, Michael Jordan fanatics and Kobe Bryant fanatics. He's not an alpha male like Kobe and Mike. And I'd be like, bro, I watched Kobe tell on another man when he got in trouble. What is we talking about? What is we talking about? I watched him do that. So, like, come on, bro. And Kobe Bryant is he's an all-time great Pantheon, great basketball player. But I'm just going to tell folks the truth. You know? I'm going to tell people the truth of the situation. I'm not finna, because it's a lot of revisionist history that's going on now. And I know what happens. Unfortunately, Kobe passed away very young. And it's very unfortunate. But when that happens, people try to shape shift things up to where I'll be like, no, that's not what happened. I remember what happened. Kobe was that dude that was cool because he's great at basketball. Great at basketball. Mike was cool, brother, who just happened to be great at basketball, and that's the difference. Oh man, there are females willing to break up a marriage since the beginning of time. Yes, there are females that are willing to do that. But yeah, I remember. But what I'm saying is that people try to act like that chapter of Kobe Bryant's life never happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, it never occurred. And that's when I'll be like, come on now. We not doing that. Your brother still asleep. Your brother still asleep. He up. All right. Look, my son and woke up now. Golly. Huh? Yeah. I'm finna get out though. Kobe D'Angelo Russell. Hey, look, when that happened with D'Angelo Russell, all the Lakers fans was mad. And I was like, Clive, I was like, now y'all know Kobe did something similar to this now. They were ready to fight me. I don't give a damn though. But yeah. Rap God, he talking about they ready to fight me though. But I was like, I remember now Kobe didn't record it and put it on social media, right? He said it to the police. And Kobe never thought that it would get out to the public that he said it to the police. But then, unfortunately, the police know what they're doing. They like, we finna release this to the public. We finna release it. Police gonna release all when you do some talking, they gonna release that footage out. It gonna get to the public. You know what I'm saying? They gonna release it. You do some talking, oh man. That's why any rapper that snitch, it always get to the public because the police, they dying to smear your reputation. You know, as soon as he said it, like, oh, we finna use this. Cause they didn't ask him nothing about Shaq. He just brought Shaq up. You know what I'm saying? And when he brought Shaq up, they like, oh, okay. We gonna put Shaq in there. We gonna release this to the house. We gonna release this to the public. Now Shaq at the house with Shawnee O'Neal. He gotta explain why his name in there. And right, that's when Shaq did the Kobe tell me how my, you know what takes, yeah. And that's why they were at odds with each other. And because people like to act like the only reason Shaq and Kobe split up was because Shaq didn't have this work ethic of being a hard worker in the off season. The real reason why they really split up was they could not coexist after Kobe told on Shaq. And Dr. Jerry Busnell made the decision. We're going to go with the guy that's 6 years younger because Shaq was like, I think Kobe, like, man, hold on. How many years younger is Shaq? Got to be like 6 years older than Kobe. Correct me if I'm wrong. How many years older than Kobe is Shaq? Correct me if I'm wrong. How many years is Shaq older than Kobe? I feel like he about like 6 years older than him. Yeah. So the Lakers made a decision. We're going to go with the guy that's 6 years younger, that has more, like he got more time in his prime left versus Shaq. After Shaq left, yeah, 6 years is significant. Like it's not like only, that's significant though. In basketball years, 6 years significant. Especially at that point, like we hadn't seen a dude have a long prime like LeBron James. Like we had never seen that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 6 years apart. So they made the decision. Kobe, and it was a better decision for them, was to go with the younger guy who had the better who had more years in his prime left. Shaq he only had 2 more years in his prime when he was in Miami. After them 2 years, Shaq was done. Shaq was out of his prime. After them next 2 years in Miami, he was out of his prime completely. You know what I'm saying? So the Lakers made the better decision to keep Kobe, but the reason why they had to split them up in the first place is because Kobe told on him to the police, and it got out to the public. And Shaq wanted to fight Kobe because of that, and they had to be separated. Shaq had 140-point game as a son. Yeah, but his prime was over with at that point. You know what I'm saying? He can give you some good games here and there, but his prime dominance was over with. For like a 5-year period, it was nothing you could do with Shaquille O'Neal at all. For like a real 5-year period, it was nothing you could do with him at all. Do I see Ryan Coogler being in it's a Hall of Fame for directors? I didn't know that. But I see him being a pantheon, like an all-time great director, absolutely. Scorsese and Steven Spielberg and all of them, I see Ryan Coogler being of that ilk. Tarantino, all of them, yeah. Shaq should have been the GOAT. Had he stayed in shape like LeBron, Shaq is the greatest player ever. Yeah, Shaq, man, let me tell you something. I remember watching Shaq from 2000 to 2004, that time period. It was nothing you could do with the big fella. Kevin Garnett, Shaq was better than KG, 100%. Shaq was 100% better than KG. And it ain't even no slight to KG. No slight to KG. But Shaquille O'Neal was something different. The most physically dominant player I've ever seen in my life. Physically imposing. He was athletic. He could run the floor. Yeah, all you could do was employ the Hack-a-Shaq Hack-a-Shaq method to take him out of the game. Yeah, Shaq would have 40 points off all dunks. And all you could do is try to wrap him up and foul him. Who's better, Curry or LeBron? LeBron James. Steph is an all-time great player though, but he's not better than LeBron James though. No, even though they got the same amount of championships, Jokic better than Shaq. And you know what? People trying to say that now. Yeah, Jokic does things that Shaq couldn't do, but Jokic wasn't physically dominant. Like he's dominant though. He's dominant, but I don't know, man. Watching Shaq do what he did, man. I don't know. I get you. Jokic got 3 MVPs. He got a league MVP, finals MVP. But man, listen, y'all. I don't know. Shaq get another ring. Steph get another ring or two. We got to revisit it. I mean, we can. For sure. We can revisit the conversation. But I just think even without rings though, like man, let me tell y'all something, man. I just think because in the conversation of rings, right? I'm not putting Bill Russell ahead of LeBron James. Bill got like 11, right? Steph is a Pantheon great, but I don't know. Like LeBron got all like rankings all time. Bron got he's Finals MVP in every championship he won. Every championship he won, he been Finals MVP. He got 4 chips. He got like 6 all defensive selections. 6 all he made 6 defensive all-time defensive teams. He got yeah, man. I just seen LeBron. I don't know. LeBron it just looked different. It looked different. Now Steph dominance is brilliant, but LeBron it just looked different, man. I don't know. Even with the 4 championship, it looked different. Again, just like my MJ point with MJ, less time Steph is doing more. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. In them 2 Golden State teams, Kevin Durant was the best player on them 2 Golden State teams. I get what you're saying. Steph is super influential. And now again, Golden State, for sure. He won the unanimous MVP and all of that. LeBron James should have won the unanimous MVP too, but I can't ignore that Kevin Durant was the best player on them 2 championship teams that he had. Now, I can't ignore that. Like KD, I'm gonna be real with you, Joe. I'm gonna be real with you. If KD not on them Golden State teams, I think LeBron James gonna beat them. Now, again, if was a 5th, we all be drunk. I don't know that to be certain. But what I do know is Kevin Durant was the best player on them Golden State Warriors team for that stretch. Kevin Durant was, especially before that Achilles injury. KD was the best player on the Golden State team, and it was like evident during the finals. During the finals performances, it was evident. So that's what I'm saying. So when people say Steph got the same amount and less, Steph wasn't even the best player on 2 of them teams. KD was. You feel me? Like, I ain't gonna lie, Durant was looking like a machine over there. Especially because Steph and Clay was over there. Who you finna double? KD was able to free roam and be an assassin. If Draymond don't get suspended again, the Cavs Cleveland lose that final, KD doesn't go there. Oh, yeah, again. So I said if was a 5th. I don't know. You know, because I think Cleveland would be Golden State without KD, and many people think that Golden State would have won if Draymond don't get suspended. Now, Draymond came and played in the next 2 games, but people felt like Draymond being out gave the Lakers the Cavs life for that game that he missed. You feel me? But didn't LeBron have 40 in back-to-back games in that series? Did he have 40 in back-to-back games in that series against Golden State? He had a game when him and Kyrie both went for 41. I swear he went for 40 again after that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Draymond was there for game 6 and 7. But then you have people that say, um, that momentum, Draymond being gone for that one game, they feel like they threw off the momentum of everything. But yeah, James should just retire. He's not winning any more rings. Well, I think LeBron just like playing basketball, so I think he gonna play until he feel like he trash. So even without not being able to play rings, I think LeBron just like playing basketball. Yeah, Draymond would have been MVP if they would have won that last game. He had like 35 points and like double-digit rebounds and a nice amount of assists. He went crazy. He was hitting shot after shot. I'm gonna be real with y'all. J.R. Smith is so critical to that game because Golden State looked like they were about to blow the game or blow the game away, take away with the lead in the second half. And JR hit some 3-point shots to slow down Golden State's momentum and to keep Cleveland in the game. JR hit pivotal shots to begin that second half because Golden State looked like they were about to pull away. And JR hit some crazy 3-point baskets to keep that game close. For real. And to like stave off Golden State. And so to keep it close rather, because they still was trailing. But yeah. You think Curry is going to surpass LeBron when he get more rings? I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna have to see. Yeah, I think LeBron should have won. I had him winning one. I feel like the year Marc Gasol won, I think Bron should have won that one that year. Me personally. Kyrie's defense. Let me tell you something. Kevin Love's defense on Steph to end the game. Because Kevin Love iced Steph at the top of the key. You feel me? Like, that was crazy. But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying, though. But Kevin Love at the top of the key, that last possession, the way he locked Steph up at the top was crazy, especially for a big to have that lateral movement he was possessing. But yeah, JR shots, man. JR hit them shots to keep that game close. That's why LeBron made Cleveland pay JR. Because JR was up for a contract at that point. And LeBron made Cleveland pay JR Smith. JR got like 56 million or something like that after that finals. He got 50 some, almost $60 million for that after that performance because LeBron made them. He put pressure on the organization to pay JR because JR saved them for real. I think LeBron only missed one playoff appearance. No, he didn't make the playoffs his first 2 years, and he missed the playoffs at 2018, 2019 season. So he missed the playoffs four times. He didn't go to playoffs that year when they had he missed the playoffs that year with Russell Westbrook, right? He missed their first year in LA. He missed the first 2 years in Cleveland. So 4. I think he missed the playoffs 4 times, I think. Ron deserved the player. Y'all know what's more overrated. Bron's even was handled. Both are spiking. Nah, Black Mall. That year 2013, his defense was great. He had great defense that 2013 season. I ain't gonna lie. That 2013 season, he had great defense. That 2009 season, his defense was great. 2009. Now, after Miami, for real, he stopped playing defense for real. And now this year is the best I've seen him look on defense. Yeah, defense, bro. He was first team all defense that year, Black Mom. And you know Marc Gasol was second team all defense though. Marc Gasol won the award and he was second team all defense, Black Mom. And LeBron was first team all defense. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, I think he should have been defensive player of the year that year. 100%. Right. In 2009, LeBron was runner up to Dwight Howard. 09 defense was great. 09. Now, when he left Miami, he stopped playing defense. This year is the best he's looked defensively at times. I have seen him the best he's looked defensively since that 2013, 2014, them years like that. You know? but he's shown some great defense in spurts. The great amount of spurts this season. Honestly, I feel like LeBron probably certain points of this season, LeBron didn't look the best he's looked in like the last 2 years. 2 to 3 years for real. 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron was a dog. That's the most well-rounded I've seen LeBron James offensively, 2018. That's when he had the post game on display. He was still attacking around. He was getting guys high percentage shots. You saw some mid-range from him, 3-point shots from him. He was showing the whole arsenal that 2018 year. LeBron was he locked D Rose up though, Black Mall. And Rose, you know Rose, I'm Chicago. That's my man. 100 grand. He one of the only people that was able to stay in front of Derrick. Real talk. And you know that's Chicago. D Rose, Chicago, Illinois. All day. He locked Pooh up though. You know what I'm saying? He locked Pooh up, and Pooh, nobody could really stay in front of Pooh at that point. I ain't see it. All them they couldn't stay in front of dude. But I seen LeBron sit down in the chair and lock Pooh up and made Pooh pass the ball. I think Bron should have stayed in Miami. Check game 5. Yeah, Bron block roll. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be real. He took Pooh out the game in the fourth quarter. He was taking Pooh out them games, man. I ain't gonna lie. To the point where I was getting frustrated. You know what I'm saying? I was getting frustrated because whenever LeBron and them playing the Bulls, I root for the Bulls. So it wasn't a possession, bro. That was funny. He was doing it consistently in the fourth quarters. For real. And I know I'm a Bulls fan. I was bad because I'm telling you, he was taking Pooh out the game in the fourth quarter. The last couple of games, he was making Derrick pass the ball because they was putting him on him. Pooh was killing. What I'm saying, the fourth quarter though, he couldn't really get off in the fourth like he wanted to, for real. Because they was switching LeBron on him in the fourth. Now again, and a person can get off in a series and still like in the fourth have trouble, like depending on what you call it. Well, I seen him. I'm for real. LeBron at that point was the first person I seen be able to stay in front of Pooh before the injury, for real. Like to stay in front of him all the way, because his first gear was too explosive. I would say this about LeBron: he would get past LeBron, but LeBron knew how to recover at times. Recover quick. Now I didn't see dudes recover that well against Pooh like that. Not recover, they really couldn't. And once he was gone, he was gone. Especially if you was a guard. If you was a point guard, you was not standing in front of him. You know what I'm saying? You was not standing in front of him. And that is true. I don't think Derrick shot officially in it. So you're right, Zero. And again, Pooh my mans. I don't remember Derrick shooting efficiently like that. Like did to Giannis and players against the Bucks when he was in Toronto. Did he lock anyone up the entire series like Kawhi did to Giannis? For the entire series. Off the top of my head, I don't remember him locking somebody up for the entire series per se. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. In them early LeBron years, or prime LeBron year, locked somebody up verbatim for the entire series. Like entire series. I don't remember. I don't remember seeing it for the entire series. No. For the entire series, I don't remember seeing it for the entire series. Paul George becoming a household name against LeBron and his great defense. Bron was still getting off against Paul though, G. Paul wasn't locking Bron up though. He wasn't though. Like I'm telling you, Paul George locking Bron up though. He played great defense though. Paul played great defense. but he wasn't locking him up though. You know what I'm saying? He might have had some times he might have stripped Braun or something. Yeah, but I don't remember him locking Braun up though. Are you saying Paul was cooking him on offense? I get you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't shit. Who locked Paul George up though? I'm trying to think. Like Paul was getting Paul nice though. Paul George nice though, for sure. But I'm trying to think, like, as who your favorite defenders though? Black Mall, who your favorite defenders? You can ask LeBron to be the leader on offense, then have LeBron guard a team's best player an entire game, let alone series. Prior to that series, we didn't look at him as one of the ones though, Mike. Come on. Prior to that series, we didn't look at him as one of the ones though. I mean, he had a coming out party though. Like, so you saying Brian get points against him because he did it against LeBron? Well, we're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? We can take away from a lot of people. Shit, we ain't look at Tayshaun Prince as one of them defenders until he locked up Kobe Bryant in the 2004 NBA Finals, and that was in Tayshaun like second year. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I think Paul was gonna be who he was regardless of who he playing. You know what I mean? Like Ben Wallace was your favorite, Dennis, Kawhi, CP3, Hakeem. I'm all great defenders for sure. Great defenders. I would have to say on that because I didn't watch Hakeem because I was too young. Ben was my favorite because Ben was really naturally undersized playing center. Ben was really only 6'7" for real. He just had a lot of heart. Yeah, he had athleticism. He was very strong. He was very, very strong, and that helped him. But Ben was not a tall guy at all. Damn. Okay, want something to drink? Come on. Look at my son. My son say, "Damn, Dad." He got his braids sticking up in the air. CP3 locked up KD. People don't give Chris his credit out. Well, people don't like Chris Paul, so Cause Chris be doing some certain stuff on the court that people don't like. People don't like Chris. Chris' personality a little, you know. But Chris was a great defender though. I will say that. Chris was a great defender, but people don't like Chris. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, y'all. I'm back. What is your opinion on the banana boat trip? I don't got no opinion on it. What you want me? What you mean? What's my opinion on the trip? I don't got no opinion on it. Hold on. I don't know how he's off the court, but my homeboy noticed him in LA and he stopped to take a picture. Who CP3? So y'all know my homie Kiefer Sykes that I interviewed on my channel. Kiefer went to Chris Paul's camp when he was in college. He was at Green Bay. He got invited to Chris Paul's camp. And Chris Paul liked Kiefer so much and how Kiefer was hooping at the camp. Chris Paul invited Kiefer to his house. And Kiefer was at Chris Paul. Kiefer told me Chris Paul house is crazy. And I can only imagine, right? Kiefer said, man, Chris Paul closets look like rooms that we sleep in. That you bed, like it's all his closets in his house look like bedrooms. For real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But people don't like Chris because it's on court, what he be doing on court and stuff, you know what I'm saying? On court demeanor. But yeah. But I mean, Keeper told me good stuff about Chris Paul. So yeah. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. But look, y'all, man, I'm finna get off this thing real quick, man. I gotta make my son something to eat. He just woke up, just got out of bed. So I'm gonna make him something to eat, watch a little TV and chill. And then I'm gonna get back on here later on tonight, man. I'm gonna make him something to eat, then make myself something to eat because I ain't ate nothing yet. But he gotta eat first, and I'm gonna chill, man. Yeah. But I'm gonna holler at y'all in a minute. I appreciate y'all that got on here today with me, man. It mean a lot to me. Peace.